This is Commodity Wrap. I'm Tony St. James. We hit midweek and, well, we find stocks falling. And maybe we can talk about why the stock market falls on Wednesday. Dow off 250 or so, S&P down 50, and NASDAQ losing a little over 200. And so we look over at the row crops. How did they finish the session? Well, we had corn out of the gate moving higher. Soybeans kind of back and forth throughout the session, but at the end of the session also settling higher. And the wheat market in positive territory. What about cotton? Well, cotton was in the red again, but it's kind of a broken record. Brian Hoops is president, Midwest Market Solutions. All right. Brian, let's back up on the equity side to start with. Was that really kind of a reaction to the Federal Reserve interest rate decision, or a lack thereof, or what?
Yeah, I don't think it was anything that was a surprise to anyone in the trade. You were under pressure, just kind of anticipating the Fed would leave rates unchanged, and that's what they said this afternoon. No change in the interest rates, 4.5%. Now, next month, with the next meeting, there's about a 35 or so percent chance right now that they will cut interest rates by 0.5%. So there's a better chance than not that next week we will. Now, if we do get a rate cut next month, that should be bullish for the stock market and for the equity markets. The fact that they left rates unchanged or were expected to today, I think, neutral to a little bit negative for the stock market, and we saw that in today's trade. Kind of had rallied the last couple of days going today's activity. So not a real surprise that we backed off by the closing bell, I don't think.
All right. At the same time, we've kind of watched what this 10-year Treasury note has been doing. And, we kind of had a dip back in, August, September somewhere, September into October. But it's been a rally since then. Does that kind of speak back to what the Fed's been doing?
Yeah, I think so. I think it also looks at not only with the Fed, but also President Trump and his ideas for the economy and how he wants it to grow. And tax cuts usually are bullish for the stock market. And with that being said, if he's able to pass the tax cuts that he wants, it should be beneficial for the stock market. We should have higher prices in 2025. We may have some dips along the way, but generally speaking, those dips are thought of as buying opportunities.
First 2 days of the week, we saw flash sales. The flash sale on Monday for corn went to Mexico, 139,000. Flash sale on Tuesday, South Korea, 132,000. No flash sale on Wednesday, so I'm guessing the corn market moving higher, just in celebration of National Corn Chip Day. Any better ideas out there?
Well, no. That's as good as any. I think it's a lot of spec community coming in and wanting to buy this market. It's been a very strong bullish type market, and the trend is continuing to move higher. So as long as that trend moves higher, I don't think there's any reason that some of these speculators are going to want to abandon the long side from it, because once you're entrenched in a trend, as long as that keeps going, that's a great place to be. Now, with that being said, you do have tariffs beginning to be enacted, 25% against Canada and Mexico starting February the 1. So maybe Thursday, Friday, we have some sort of a correction or pullback in this market. But other than that, it's a speculator's market. They want to keep pushing this market higher.
Okay, corn higher, week over week, month over month, now year over year. Beans, pretty close to even, if you will, week over week, though the gains, double-digit gains, probably push that into higher territory now with positive gains, but definitely positive month over month, and working to try to get back into positive territory from where we were 12 months ago. Still a ways to go, but when you look at beans, meal, finishing higher, but soy oil moving lower again. Thoughts there?
Uncertainty on the EPA and this administration and if what they're doing as far as biofuels is, I think, probably going to keep bean oil on the defensive here in 2025 until we can get a clearer direction about how the EPA is going to handle everything. There was a lot of spreading, I think, late yesterday and again today in soy meal versus soybean oil. We had noted yesterday that there was some reports that some cargoes, about 51 cargoes in a port in Brazil that had contained soybean meal shipments, were loaded with sand in an effort apparently to make the shipments heavier, and that would in fact add more tonnage. So that's a little bit of concern, I think, for the trade, and certainly friendly for the meal market, that maybe these meal cargoes are going to be rejected, and maybe the U.S. would get some of that business.
Well, and at the end of the session, wheat futures higher, double-digit gains across the board. Any surprise?
There is really not much in the way of any fundamental news for the wheat market, and I try and search every day to find something from a fundamental standpoint, and really have a hard time finding it. It does look like wheat is kind of following the lead of corn and soybeans, breaking its technical downtrend. And so you're seeing some technical buying, some short covering that's coming into the market. But boy, other than that, it just is hard to find anything from a news fundamental standpoint to lift the wheat market here.
Brian Hoops is president, Midwest Market Solutions. That's the row crop side. We'll come back in a minute, and we'll look at livestock futures and fireworks there. Commodity Wrap continues after this. This is Commodity Wrap. We're talking with Brian Hoops, president, Midwest Market Solutions. Brian, fireworks. You and I had the chance to talk on TV this morning, and you brought up Yankton, South Dakota. And why would we kind of lead with Yankton, South Dakota when we talked about livestock markets?
I thought you were going to talk about the ice house again.
Well, yeah. I did surprise you with that, knowing that there's the ice house there. And by the way, if you've never been to Yankton, there's an ice house there, and you can buy your bottles, and once you finish it, you bust it against the wall, right?
Right, exactly. And when you're done doing that, you can head over to our commodity office at 327 Broadway. Our biggest branch office that we have is located right in downtown Yankton, South Dakota.
But break the bottles before you get down to the office. But there could have been some celebration yesterday because of what we saw as far as cattle, right?
Yes, there's a big sale held every Tuesday in Yankton, and it's one of the biggest ones in that Midwest region. And that sale was just red hot. Has been for the last several weeks, several months. But yesterday, we were seeing over $3,000 for some of these animals. Just a very, very strong numbers. So, it's not surprising that we will have the sale on Tuesday and have some potential clients walk in the door Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday because they bought these cattle and want to get some hedging protection in place. So that's been our experience, and not a surprise, I don't think, that we saw feeder cattle and live cattle down sharply today. It is the end of the month coming up on Friday, and so we anticipate we would have at least one down day, maybe more, just on some profit taking alone, and funds paying these bonuses. Then they can reposition at a later date. So just have a one month or 1 day a month where they see the big pullback, and then we can reposition, pay those bonuses, and off to the races. And I expect that's what's going to happen because we really haven't changed anything from a fundamental standpoint. Still tight supplies. In fact, the cattle inventory report coming out on Friday of this week is going to tell us exactly that. The estimates that we have seen are telling us that 99.1% is the total inventory calf crop at 98.5. We just don't see any evidence that we're rebuilding this herd.
Yeah. Also on Wednesday, Coffeyville Stockyards set a new all-time record. 3 weight steers at the local, state, and national level. Top sale featured 18 head, 324 pounds, $515 a hundredweight. So it's highest three-weight price ever recorded in both Coffeyville and across the nation. And again, other auction barns seeing some of the same fireworks there. And I thought this was interesting because while the cattle market was, we were seeing the trend go lower, for quite a while hogs were in higher territory with the contract, I guess the most active at this point, still closing higher. That doesn't sound like we're tagging along for the ride, just moving higher when cattle does.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Cattle market here has been just a scorching, strong market. The hog market had cold storage numbers come out this week that were a little bit friendly. We're seeing a lot of technical buying in that market. I think there was certainly some catch-up or spillover buying from some of the spread traders looking to push that hog market up. As long as the hogs were going to go, maybe the cattle would be a supportive feature to that hog market.
All right, Brian, you mentioned Yankton earlier, and we've got to throw Springfield in there as well. So if we want to find you and Midwest Market Solutions, how do we do it?
Yeah, you can go to our website, MidwestMarketSolutions.com, find a list of all of our offices around the Midwest. You can give me a call directly, 417-501-5132, and I always answer my phone.
And I'll be happy to visit your new location once you open up in Costa Rica on the beach. So make sure you let me know when that happens. Again,
we'll
it's
Brian. Live broadcast from there. You bet.
President, Midwest Market Solutions. We're having a great day. Glad you're with us. It's Commodity Wrap.